Welcome to this introduction part of the Skyrim Special Edition 2019 graphics tutorial, the 100 mods edition. Phew, that's a mouthful, but anyway, that's what she said, haha, great. Funny, no, I'm not trying to bring humor in this tutorial. I wouldn't dare to do that because I don't have any humor at all. Anyway, before we start with this introduction part, I would like to point out if you're really impatient and you want to start modding right away, well, this part only covers introductions, and while this is not necessarily needed for modding, I strongly recommend you watch this part. But if you really want to start modding right away, you can go to the next part already. So if you're lazy or you just want to start modding, go ahead. So again, a very special year, 2019, because this year, for the first time, I will include, well, not actually the first time, but this year I will create two tutorials. 100 mods edition, which is this one, and also a full version for all the modding freaks from Skyrim Special Edition there are out there. And I said not the first time because I can remember I actually once did record a fast explanation version, and that was very popular. So, you know, because I've been asked all the time, hey, can you not create an all-in-one installer for all these mods? Unfortunately cannot, and for two reasons. First of all, it would be an insult to the authors with the hard work by just combining everything together and not giving them any credit. And the second reason, it's technically not possible. And why is that? Well, because Mod Organizer, which is the tool we're going to use, doesn't work in that way. So with that said, you just need to do everything yourself, unfortunately. But the 100 mods edition, which was actually intended as the 50 mods edition, but I was thinking you were gonna miss out a lot, so I did decide to create the 100 mods edition, which is this part you're actually watching, one of many parts. And it's I think 108 mods, so not exactly 100 mods, but this is very well doable for everyone, and it still gives you great results. These are some screenshots from two different EMBs and weather mods, and you can decide later which one you would like to use. But as you can see, they look very good, because mostly Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition modding is all about a lighting mod, a weather mod, an EMB, and some texture overhauls, very roughly set. And also, yeah, and then it comes to NPC modding, player character modding, stuff like that. So that's what we're going to handle, and to give you a little bit of an impression, here you can see all the parts. And if you remember perhaps the 2018 parts, which I still will keep online for the ones who are going to do this part, and the full edition is not available yet, I will make sure to have this full edition of 2018 still online, but you can also start with this 100 mods edition. Also, I would like to point out this time the donate button. Of course, I'm never going to beg or e-beg for money, but I will make sure to keep my website advertisement free. But lately, my YouTube algorithm got killed by YouTube. I only get a couple of thousand views. And yeah, for that, I still have a website I need to run, and I need to pay for the hosting. And yeah, pretty much all of my free time I put inside my YouTube channel and the tutorials. So if you can spare anything, an example, if you're following my tutorials for over 5 years now is the time maybe to, you know, do a donation. But of course, that's not needed. But I will still continue to make sure my website is always advertisement free, because I know how annoying those ads can be with their clickbaity titles. So anyway, before I drift off too much, the 100 mods edition, well, what can I say more about it? So this is for the ones who would like to have a more quicker installation, but don't expect to be finishing it in 1 hour. It probably will take you like a rainy Sunday or something like that. So with that said, also the requirements, I do copy them every year, but this is definitely the minimum now. This is not the recommended. And if you have lower specs than this, then yeah, you definitely don't want to start it, because you'll get horrible FPS, and even while you install light versions of certain mods, the EMB will definitely kill your system. Also, I only create tutorials nowadays for Skyrim Special Edition, not the original Skyrim, or Old Rim as we call it nowadays, because the reason is 64-bit stability in Skyrim Special Edition. Yes, I know old Skyrim has some graphical effects still which are not ported to Skyrim Special Edition, but I think Skyrim Special Edition is just doing a great job especially now in 2019. We are a couple of years further from its original release date, and the game just looks awesome. I mean, with all the mods which have been released, almost all the major mods are being ported to Skyrim Special Edition. And for me, there's no reason to go back to old Skyrim, and especially for the 64-bit stability. So let me check. Was there anything else I would like to share with you guys in this introduction part? Probably not. Well, there is. What's also new this year, I would like to point out that I have a Discord channel for the ones who are not familiar with that, and we are a very large community, over 2,500 members nowadays, which is insane. And why should you care? Well, because sometimes, I would like to point this out, sometimes authors do decide to hide their mods. Really no idea why, but they decide to hide their mods. Maybe, you know, they have enough of all the support for it, or I don't know, maybe they're updating, but they forgot that they actually needed to do an update, and those mods are lost forever normally. But not with my Discord channel. I did decide to include a hidden mod section in my Discord channel. An example here where some of the guys requested some mods which are taken offline. An example, these mods, Red Rocks and Solstheim Landscape Overall, and I was of course, as always, kind enough to send these mods. So here in this section you can find any mods which have been taken offline by the authors, and unless the author really demands that these mods are not being shared anymore, I of course won't do that. But usually these mods are taken offline because they don't want to support them anymore, but then you're still able to find these mods on my Discord channel. Also, you can share your screenshots with other users which are using my tutorial or any other mods. And of course, I don't necessarily expect anyone to use my tutorial. I really love Skyrim modding, and it's up to you how you want to do it. And you can share the end results here in this section of the screenshots. I have a special one for Skyrim Special Edition, because that's where the most interest is in. And I also have another section for other games, all kind of games, as you can see here. But of course, what's more important even, there is a modding for Skyrim Special Edition to ask questions. So that also applies to Oblivion and other games. So just ask questions here, and if nobody really knows the answer, just feel free to @PredCaliber me at any of these sections to get my attention, or send me a personal message. That's fine as well. And for the rest, that's it, I think, for this introduction part. So again, this is the 100 mods edition. There also will be a full edition released, not sure when, but till that time you can use the 2018 edition, which is somewhat of a full edition. But the 2019 100 mods edition is what I think the most used mods, which you need to have a look like on the screenshots here. And the compromise in this is that I don't overhaul all the specific details. Like an example, I only overhaul things which I think are visible the most in the game and are returning the most during a gameplay session. And for that, I had to cut out a lot of individual mods. An example, there are perhaps some creatures which I didn't include in this mod, and there are some items which I didn't include in this mod list. But I'm pretty sure most of them are being covered anyway by the large texture mods. Maybe not as beautiful as the specific individual mods, but only the ones I truly think you cannot miss. Like an example, some armor mods I have included. For the rest, this is what I think are definitely the most essential mods. You're going to need to have a fantastic looking Skyrim Special Edition. Probably on first sight just as great as the full edition, but it takes a lot less time to install all of it. So it's up to you. If you want to install the 100 mods edition, you can do that right now. I will make sure to start with the full edition, the 2019 full edition, ASAP, but till that time you can use the 2018 discounts as the full edition for 2018. And with that, I've talked way too long for an introduction part. If you're still with me, well, let's try something funny. Type in I love chickens. If you watch it all the way to this part, I did that with some of my Star Citizen videos because they're also hideously long, and that's same for this introduction. So type that in if you watched all the way through this, and hope to see you guys at the next part where we will finally start the modding.